Good morning, children. Welcome again in this biology class of diversity in living world. Now, the subtopic is three domains of life. Now, this three domains of life concept was first given by Carl Woese and others in 1969. And this classification it has following characteristics like it is based on difference in the sequence of nucleotides in the cell ribosomal or rRNA, then lipid structure of cell membrane and its sensitivity to the antibiotics. Now major concept is also based on the evolutionary changes which comes in different organisms. Now this RNA or ribosomal RNA molecules, it has conserved structure throughout the nature and it performs the same function, similarities and differences in RNA nucleotide sequence. It is a good indication of relationship in different living groups. Now this is accepted today that three distinct domains of organization it involves in nature from a common archaeal prokaryotic ancestral cell. Now these are archaea or the archaebacteria, bacteria or eubacteria and eukarya or the eukaryota. Now come to domain archaea or the archaebacteria. So what are the characteristics of these archaebacteria? Because they are the most primitive forms of bacteria and their cell membrane is composed of hydrocarbon chains which are branched and which are attached to glycerol. Now there is no peptidoglycans present in cell membrane of these archaebacteria. Peptidoglycans measure formation of these glucose and amino acids and they are forming a mesh-like structure outside the cell membrane. Okay, so the cell membrane has no peptidoglycans. Now these archaebacteria they are also not influenced by any antibiotic which may destroy. Now their rRNA is unique and they are much different from the bacterial rRNA, and these bacteria they live in extreme environment. For example, methanogens, halophiles and hyperthermophiles. Now domain bacteria or eubacteria, now their cell membrane they are composed of fatty acids which are unbranched and again they are attached to the glycerol. Now this bacteria their cell wall is made up of or it is formed of peptidoglycans. Now these bacteria they are very sensitive to the antibiotics, that means they can destroy by antibiotics. Now naked DNA they are present in the whole cytoplasm, cell cytoplasm. Bacterial RNA it is also unique in eubacteria and they are distinctly different from RNA of archaea and eukarya. Now bacterial ribosomes they are 70S types. Examples: eubacteria it includes the mycoplasma, cyanobacteria the blue-green algae, gram-positive and gram-negative bacteria. Third domain is eukarya or eukaryota. Now these eukaryote or eukaryota they have the cells which have organization. Now this cell membrane it is composed of protein, lipid protein layer in bacteria as in bacteria. Now cell wall is absent in animal cell whereas it is present in plant cell, and peptidoglycans it is not found in cell wall. Now these eukarya they are resistant to traditional antibiotics. Now hereditary material they are formed of nucleoprotein fibers which are composed of DNA and basic proteins are the histones. Eukaryotic rRNA it is also unique in eukarya, and eukarya ribosomes they are 80S type. Now these eukarya they are divided into four kingdoms. Kingdom Protista which includes slime molds, euglenoids, algae and protozoans. Kingdom Mycota which includes Phycomycetes, Zygomycetes, Ascomycetes, Basidiomycetes and Deuteriomycetes. Kingdom Plantae which includes bryophytes, pteridophytes, gymnosperms and angiosperms, and Kingdom Animalia which includes all animals. So let us study in detail about the archaebacteria or the archaea. Now as I told you children, this archaebacteria they are a primitive group of bacteria. They are very ancient bacteria. They are most ancient bacteria and it is believed that they arrived on this earth or they evolved on this earth billion of years ago when the conditions of the earth were hostile. Now they have survived unchanged, and still they live in extreme environments like Great Salt Lake, Dead Sea, sulfur springs, and volcanic wells. Now these archaebacteria, they are also known as evolutionary relics or living fossils. The general characteristics of archaebacteria, which you have already read, but let us study in detail, that their cell wall is non-cellulosic in nature. That means, you know children, that cell wall basically it is made up of cellulose. So in bacteria, in archaebacteria, the cell wall is non-cellulosic. That means cell wall is not made up of cellulose, but it is formed of polysaccharides or the protein, and it is without peptidoglycans. Now cell membranes, they are lipids and which are arranged in a single layer. Monolayer is there. Now these lipids, they have long branched hydrocarbons chains which are linked to glycerol and which makes them unable to form or to tolerate these extreme conditions of heat and acidity. Now archaebacterial ribosomes or rRNA, it has different sequence of nucleotides as compared to the true bacteria. The classification of bacteria, so on the basis of the metabolic activities, on the basis of habitat, these archaebacteria, they are divided into three groups: methanogens, herophiles, thermoacidophiles. Now come to methanogens or methanogenetic archaebacteria or methane producers. Now these methanogens, they are obligate anaerobic autotrophs. Then next is they produce methane gas. Okay, so they produce methane gas from carbon dioxide and acetic acid from sewage in marshy conditions. Marshy condition means in which the soil in which the water quantity is present. Okay, so this carbon dioxide, it mixes with the hydrogen and forms the methane and water. Then this acetic acid, it gives decompose and it gives methane and carbon dioxide. Now this methane gas, it is the main constituent of the greenhouse gases and it leads to global warming. Now they are also found in marshes, bogs, swamps, and in the rumen of cattle like cows and buffaloes. Children, you know that digestive system of cattle, it is different. There are special segments, and in which one of the segments is known as a rumen, in which the food of the cattle, it gets stored because they take the food as a whole. Okay, and after that they perform the process of cuddling. Okay, so this is the rumen. It is also found in the rumens of the cattle. And methanogens, it helps in the fermentation of these cellulose because they do not decompose the organic matter, but they utilize the end product of this decomposition. Now halophils or halophilic archaebacteria or salt lovers. Now these are aerobic or the facultative anaerobic heterotrophs. Now these bacteria, they live in saline environment like in salt lakes, marshes, brine or salt solution. They are also present in salt rich soil where concentration varies from 2.5 to 5.0 m. Now they have intracellular salt concentration also, and their enzymes and ribosomes, they only function at high concentration salt solution. Now they have special photoreceptor pigment, and that is known as the bacteriorhodospin. Now due to the presence of this bacteriorhodospin, these halophiles, they become purple or they become abundant from the solar energy in the strong sunlight. Or this has three main purposes: that it protects halophiles from the strong solar radiation, and it also helps in the manufacturing of ATP. Then ATP is synthesized during this period. It is used under different conditions of oxygen stress. Now these bacteria, they are chemoautotrophs. That means they utilize energy rather than the solar energy. They utilize the chemical energy and they get the food from chemicals. For example, Halococcus halobacterium. The thermal acidophiles or thermoacidophilic archaebacteria or heat or cold lovers. So previously we was learning about the salt lover bacteria. Now these are the heat and the cold lover bacteria or the archaebacteria. Again, they are aerobic or facultative anaerobic chemoautotrophs. Aerobic and anaerobic, children, you must know about these aerobic and anaerobic, that is in the presence and in the absence of oxygen. Now they are adapted to live in hot and acidic medium. So these bacteria, they are adaptive themselves to live in hot and acidic medium. They are also adapted to live in very low temperature, even below freezing temperatures, or they can also tolerate up to a temperature of 80 degrees Celsius or above, and pH up to 2, that is highly acidic in nature. So they can survive in any of these environment. Now they are also found in hot sulfur springs like sulfur bowls, sulfurobus, and in diffuse piles of coal mines, thermoplasma, or in geothermal areas of Iceland or thermoproteus. Now they are chemoautotrophs, that is they synthesize their food by using of chemical energy. Now under aerobic conditions, these bacteria, they oxidize sulfur to sulfuric acid, like see here, sulfur in the presence of water and oxygen, it gives sulfuric acid plus energy. And under anaerobic conditions, this sulfite is reduced to hydrogen sulfide. Now what are the importance of these archaebacteria? Now methylagens archaebacteria, they are used in the production of gobar gas from cow dung and sewage to be used as a cooking gas. So you know that nowadays gobar gas is more prevalent. So it is formed from the cow dung and sewage as a cooking gas. Now these bacteria, they are also heat resistant, thermophilic enzymes and restriction enzymes, they are used in biotechnology. Now halophiles, they are also used in leaching of poor mines. Now these archaebacteria, they are also used as biosensors. Now this is all for today, children. In next class, we'll learn about mycoplasma.